survivor speak. I done messed around and went viral right from my driver's seat. Just like what the industry was containing. I'd rather make a difference instead of hating, complaining. So let me park the whip, it don't matter, rapper or model chick, singer or comedian, perfect. Let's park in politics. Hey, let's park in politics. Welcome to the pullover, let's park in politics. This the pullover, let's park in politics. I say this the pullover, let's park in politics.
Parking and politicking live. And we're back live. Did you miss me? I know you guys missed me, right? Y'all miss me? Let me know if the sound is crispy and it's coming in clear and you guys can see me. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back. Me. Welcome back live. Welcome back to the Lockoutmen podcast show live. And I am most certainly glad to be back. Me and StreamYard kind of had a rocky relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go back to StreamYard and I had to be like, look, baby, you cost too much. Me and you're gonna have to, you know, this dinner right here, we're gonna have to, we instead of going to Longhorn Steakhouse, I gotta take you to Denny's. And StreamYard was like, yeah, all right, we'll do Denny's because you're a busy man. And I say, StreamYard, I appreciate that. Welcome everybody to the Lockoutmen podcast show where we park and politic with all our guests today. And today's special guest, of course, I am Lockoutmen, but today's special guest is Trucker Girl ATL. Now,
I love the applause.
Trucker Girl ATL. Where did that name come from? Now ATL, I'm assuming you're from Atlanta, Georgia.
Everybody's assuming that.
Oh, okay. So talk to me. Trucker Girl ATL. What is it about?
I'm a girl into trucks.
Okay.
Girl into trucks. You know, at the time I was trying to figure out a good catchy name, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, you know, I'm into trucking, you know, I'm a girl. You know what I'm saying? Let me come up with Trucker Girl. And that's how I came up with girls in trucking, you know, women in trucking. That's the idea that I had, and that's how I came up with the name. And I put the ATL at the end because that's where my business is out of. That's where I'm, you know, mainly running in and out of. That's why I came up with the ATL on the end, because I am from New York and I live in New York. But, you know, I put the ATL at the end because I wanted to represent.
All right, so let's you know, this is Life Before Trucking. So thank you very much for coming on and talking with us today. Not only that you're here to talk to us, but you're also here to represent your company, which is, hold on, let me bring it up, is SYCS Trucking Company.
Correct.
All right. So before we get into your company, let's talk about you. Let me see. Hold on right quick. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see. You know, I always come prepared. But this time I don't think I did. Hold on right quick. Guys, give me a second. I had it up, but it's gone. I don't know what the hell. Let's see. There we go. Right one. Actually, I got two sets, but I found the right one. All right. So give me a little bit of history about yourself.
Okay. Let's see. Originally from the beautiful island of St. Lucia. Came to the U.S. about 20 years ago, or maybe a little over 20 years ago. Had a lot of dreams, aspirations, and saw a lot of things on TV that I was hoping I could, you know, make my reality. Fast forward a bit, you know, worked in the healthcare field part-time, and my main thing was real estate. I self-taught real estate. buying, selling, renting. Had my real estate license for a little bit. Did that for a little bit, and kind of just got interested in real estate. I love the whole owning and and renting, for the rental income and stuff like that. And I did that for a very long time.
Did you do any flipping?
I did not. It's funny because I wanted to, but I would fall in love with every property. And by the time I was done fixing it, I'm like, I don't want to sell it. I'm keeping it. I'm going to rent it out. So I want to say yes, but never finalized it because I would always fall in love with the property and then end up, keeping it and turning it into a rental. So
I
attempted to flip.
I can hear the accent in your voice. So you say you're from the islands?
Yes, I'm from St. Lucia.
So what was life like there?
Growing up, very simple. I mean, no pressure, no problems. You get what I'm saying? Very simple. You didn't make a big deal about a lot of stuff. I didn't grow up with a whole lot, but my dad made sure we had everything. My dad was a business owner himself. He was a scuba diver. He owned his own scuba diving company, well known on the island. Rosamond's Trench. He discovered a trench. He named it after himself. And my dad was also a boxer, lightweight boxer. He was the OECS champion, actually. Very serious things. Yeah, my dad, was very serious into the whole boxing thing. But I loved being on the island. You go to the beach, go to school, go to the beach, go home, play in the yard, go climb a whole bunch of mango trees. I remember I used to climb mango and plum trees, pick the plums, pick the mangoes, sit in the tree, eat it. It was carefree. You know what I'm saying? Easy. I miss it.
So what about why did you come to the States?
I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to come. My mother sent for us. My mother, she had moved here. She had a whole life here, and she didn't want to take us out of school, so she waited until we were done with school. And once we were done with high school, my mom sent for my sister and myself, and then we came to the U.S. Queens, that's where we're living, in Queens. And I didn't like it because I didn't get to go to school here. My sister went to school here, but I didn't because I had already finished high school, and they were like, "Oh, you need to work." So I was like, "Okay," but I didn't get to make any friends here. So it was a little.
So you said your mother came to the States and made a life for herself. So is it safe to say that your mother and your father is separated or?
Correct. Yeah, separated, and then they separated. My mom came to the States to live with my uncle at the time, and while living here, working here, my mom met someone else, and she married. And at that point, she had a new life, and she wanted us to be with her. So my mom had my sister and I come to the States after we graduated. Well, after I graduated from high school, because I, almost completed.
Well, let me ask you this. You yourself said you didn't want to move. So, I mean, did you have the opportunity to, powwow with your father and be like, look, Dad, my sister could go, to the States, but I want to stay here. Is it all right, that I can stay here with you?
I don't know if it's safe to say Caribbean families are a little bit different. Usually what your mother and your father say, it goes. They don't really take your opinion into consideration when you're young. I didn't want to go. I was doing great. At the time I was into music, I was into singing. I had my little thing going on with my music and singing from school, and people kind of knew me from that. So I kind of wanted to stay behind to pursue that, locally. But my mother, she wanted us, we were, we're girls, mothers and their daughters, they want them close by. So my mother didn't feel comfortable with us staying with my father. You know what I mean? She wanted us there. So we didn't really have a say.
So how did you and your sister get along with your stepdad?
It was rough. It was rough. I get along with everybody. Like I told you, I'm a people person. I like to please everybody. So for me, it was easy. But unfortunately, my sister, she's a little bit more rough around the edges. So my sister, she was going through her little rebellion moments. And so my sister, she didn't want to really hear anything. She talked back a lot. It was a little bit rude. So my stepfather, he wasn't really down with that. He was a Southerner. I think he was from North Carolina. So he had a different mentality and upbringing. And I guess he saw things back in the day that kind of traumatized him and his family. So it was rough. It was rough. I had a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends that were Caucasian. And at the time, my high school sweetheart was Caucasian. So where I'm going with it. It was kind of rough for us. We're like, what the heck? We're from an island where everybody loves everybody, and we come here and we're hearing, oh, he doesn't like him. And you know what I mean? So it was different. It was different.
Okay.
But
okay.
we had to, blend in. Eventually we got it. We figured it out.
All right. So years down the line, you still stay in New York, do you?
Yes, I still stay in New York. I'm not in Queens anymore, but I still stay in New York. I'm more in an area.
All right. So with you being interested in real estate, where did your interest come from in trucking?
Well, I think I was watching A&E or TLC. I can't remember. Do you remember the show they had with the truckers, the ICE truckers?
Mm-hmm. ICE truckers, shipping wars.
Yeah.
ICE road truckers.
Some show along that lines. And I was like, damn. And, I was like, I can do that. I could totally do that. That would be nice. And then from that point on, I got the idea, I want to do trucking, but I never really looked into it. I never made a big deal about it. That was like years, ago. And then,
well, let me ask you this, since you was interested in it, because, of course, I'm reading from your bio. Do you have your CDLs or you don't have your CDLs?
No, that's what I keep telling everybody. I do not have a CDL license. When I initially got in it, I was thinking, okay, you know what? I'll go get my license because it would be good to have it, to experience what the drivers experience, to get firsthand knowledge of certain things, to get a little bit more respect for my drivers. Because if I'm one of them, I'll get it more. I'll understand the hours of service. I'll understand how exhausted they are. I'll be more empathetic. So maybe I should go get my license. Also, being a business owner, it's frustrating when drivers quit at any time, or when a driver calls out, you have no one to move the load. I'm thinking, okay, it would be advantageous for me to be able to hop in the truck and just go take care of it, not have to rely on anybody, right? Exactly. Well, over the years, a lot of feedback from a lot of my veteran drivers, their attitude is, why do you want to do that? You run the company, stay focused on just running your business. You cannot do both. And I learned that from other drivers, who was there, did that, been there, done that kind of thing. And their attitude was, you don't need to be behind the wheel. You get what I'm saying? Focus on running the business. You're doing a great job. Keep running the business. You can't do both. And then came the aspect of me being a mother. They're like, you have small kids. They need you. You can't be behind the wheel. You're doing too much. And right there, I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna get my license. Maybe at some point I will, but not right now. I'm just gonna stay focused on what I'm doing. And that worked.
How did the idea for you to how did the idea come for you to start SYCS trucking company?
Okay, so my partner at the time, partner meaning boyfriend, kid's father at the time, he had a friend of his, high school friend of his, who worked for a contractor, a FedEx contractor, driving. And I guess he always reached out saying, hey man, get a truck, we can put it on, stuff like that. And he had another friend doing trucking that was like, hey, give me a truck and we'll put it on and you can get in. And at the time I had the funds. I was looking for another venture, and he came to me and he said, hey Rose, I have an idea. These two guys keep telling me, let's do this. What do you think? And I'm like, okay, well, I always wanted to do trucking. This could be my opportunity. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But when they came with the idea of the truck, it didn't make sense. I'm like, okay, we're going to give them a truck. They're going to put it on. You're saying this is how much we're getting a week. This is the expenses. It's not making sense. It's not adding up. So you know what? scratch that, not interested. I guess his friend came back again and said, okay, well, I have a better idea. I have this contractor at FedEx who's selling. She wants to get out. She got in because she was hoping she could do it with her husband, but it didn't work out. She's done. She wants out. She's selling. So I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. What is she selling it for? What's included? What are we getting? And that's how I got started. I took advantage of the opportunity. The opportunity came out of Atlanta, Georgia. That didn't scare me, because I take risks. I jump in head first. And I said, you know what? It would be a great opportunity to go to another state, because I can get out of the house. I can do some more traveling, network a little bit. And that's how the opportunity came about. I purchased it from her. And that's how I got started with SYCS Trucking Company.
How did that, how, before I ask my next question, how did that little meeting go? Like, I mean, you guys got together at the office and y'all chopped it up, and how did that meeting go?
Okay, so we met her at the the FedEx contract I was selling. We met her along with my well, he's my friend now, but along with the high school classmate of my kid's dad. And we all sat down and we talked about it. We talked about, the details. Well, how much does this truck bring in? How much does this route bring in? What's required? What is FedEx looking for to approve me as a contractor? She showed me her settlements of how much she makes per mile and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. And I was lucky. I mean, we're talking about a $60,000 investment. I made a $60,000 investment. Okay. I was very lucky. That $60,000 investment came with 2 routes, one being a dedicated route, one being a window route, 2 team routes. And it included 1 truck. Okay. So for 2 routes, a team route, a window route, and a truck, 60,000 was a huge find.
That sounds like, that sounds like a steal. So the trucks, so when she sold out of, when she sold out of the contract, she gave you the contracts, the routes, in 1 truck or 2?
No, it was the 2 routes and 1 truck. She didn't sell me her contract. She sold me her route, and I got my own contract.
Oh, okay.
So when you purchase a route from the contractor, you are now buying the route, and with that, you are able to enter into a new contract with FedEx as long as you meet all of the requirements.
Now, what are some of the, now from what I hear, FedEx requirements is almost like Amazon requirements, but a little bit more stringent. So
yeah.
What are the requirements to become a contractor with FedEx?
At the time, and even now, they look at your assets. Even now, they look at your assets. They want to see that you are a business owner. If you're a business owner, you're already in business, you're running a business, that makes you a very, attractive applicant, because they want people that already know how to run a business. They don't want newbies. Because there's a lot that comes with running a business, right? Workers' compensation, tax issues, labor law issues, knowing how to route your routes, knowing how to manage your business, knowing how to, get your cash flow under control, knowing the ins and outs of the DOT, what's allowed, what's not allowed. There's just so much. They want to know that you're able to handle all of that. They don't want someone who has 0 business experience. So business experience is a plus and a must, I should say, when you're coming from the outside coming in.
Now, let me ask you this. The truck that she sold you, is it a tractor trailer or a straight truck?
It was a tractor trailer. It was a 2013 International Pro Star sleeper.
Okay.
At the time, it had about 400,000 miles. The mileage wasn't too crazy on it, about 400,000 miles. That I called it my baby because it was my first truck.
Okay. So, all right. So my next question is like, now that you're entrepreneur and a business owner and and a trucking owner operator for a trucking business, what was some of the key driving force of you to become, to become an entrepreneur? That I'm just going to say entrepreneur because I mean, you what real estate,
I've done it all.
trucking, so what was the driving force in all of that?
In becoming an entrepreneur, or
Yes.
in the trucking part of it?
In the trucking part of it, yes.
I hope I'm answering the question correctly. I've always been an entrepreneur. Even when I worked 9 to 5, 9 to 5 was never me. I never thought I would see the day where I would be settled and stable, because it's like I had AD, like just you know what I mean, like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I would have a
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5, but I would still have my side hustle. Like I had a cleaning service called Rosie Maids,
Mm-hmm.
and my slogan was take a break, get a maid. Right? Did that for a little bit. Had my little thing going. I had my website, everything going. It was fun. But I've always been an entrepreneur. When I go to bed at night, I can't sleep because I see images flashing across my eyes. It's hard when your brain is constantly going, when your body is saying it's time to sleep. So when I got into the trucking game, I was like, wow, this is perfect because I don't sleep anyways. So when the trucks went out at night, because, trucking is 24/7. Well, with FedEx anyways, it's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Okay. So me staying up late at night, waiting on the drivers to call, or if there was a breakdown, waiting on that. It was fun initially for me because I'm like, well, I don't sleep anyways. I'm always going, so this can work out perfectly. But I guess my driving force behind it is just success. I was built to succeed. I wasn't built to fail. And I will try and try over and over until I've exhausted every option. And I really see I can't do it, for me to say, okay, you know what, fine, that's not going to work. But still, I don't quit. I just go into something else. I just figure out something else. But that's my drive.
All right. So this is 6 years ago. Am I correct? That you
6 years ago, yep.
that you started the business. You got your 2014 International tractor trailer.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like when you got that first load, and who drove it?
Okay, so first of all, for you to get started in FedEx, it's a minimum of 2 routes. So I had 2 routes. She gave me one with the business. So I had to work on getting the second truck. That was extremely challenging for me because, I guess you can kind of say I was in the in my reboot phase of my life and my financials.
Mm-hmm.
And getting the second truck was difficult. But of course, I know a lot of people, so I was able to get my attorney to believe in me, and my attorney was able to get his friend to give me a hard money loan for the second truck. So I was able to get the second truck. Well, I started at the worst time. And every time I tell this story, even the vice president of FedEx, when he met me and I told him when I started, he couldn't believe I started at that moment. And he was like, you're strong. And that tells me a lot about you. But I started during peak season. So my first load was the first week of December, which was peak season, which was snow, which was ice, which was everything. Mind you, I have zero experience in trucking. I know nothing about trucking. I just know that I've gotten my contract. I have my truck set up and approved, and I'm ready to go. And I put my ad out, and I was lucky to get 2 drivers. 2 drivers on the first one and 2 in the second truck, and we were ready to go. And I remember I was in Georgia at the time. We were hooked up to the load, and I'm getting a call saying, "Hey, Rosie, the airbags aren't inflating on this truck." I'm like, "What? What does that mean?"
Like, what is the airbag?
He He says to me, well, if the airbag is not going to inflate, Rosie, you can mess up your whole suspension system. And that's not good. We're going to need to fix it. I'm like, oh, shoot. Can we do it now? Again, I know nothing. So, we were lucky enough. We got somebody to come out, replace the airbag, and we were ready to go with the load. And they were on their way to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I didn't sleep that night because I was a wreck. You know what I mean? Yeah, a wreck. Then they get to Utah. They send me videos. They're like, "Hey, Rosie, we're up here, but oh my God, it's ice, it's snow, and we got a bunch of FedEx trucks and ditches and everything. We're gonna just take it slow." I'm like, "Okay, do what you guys gotta do. Okay, just be safe. I'm up with y'all. I'm not driving, but I'm up. Call me." And they send me videos of the wheels spinning. Truck's not moving, the wheels just spinning. And I'm like, oh my God, could not sleep. So yeah, that was my first trip, first everything in the middle of peak season.
So that was that the team drive load, or was that the solo drive load?
Driver, two team. One, and it was worse is that the one guy was a student driver. Because at the time, FedEx approved student drivers. So I had a student driver in the truck with an experienced guy. The experienced guy had to take it on through because, we wouldn't let the student behind the wheel. He knows nothing, and the student is panicking. The dude is scared crapless. You know what I'm saying? Afraid.
You say crapless. Yeah, that. Wow. So that is, but along the way, everything sort of got good. You said that you went to your attorney and you was luckily enough for him to believe in you.
Yeah.
You had to go to him because your initial investment of when you brought the routes from the young lady pretty much drained you.
Yes, it drained me, but also too, I was going through I call it a reboot. Remember I told you I had gotten into real estate. So I had gotten into real estate. I had several properties that I had purchased at the time with my then spouse. And we were going through a divorce. So I said, okay, you know what? I need to just give him these properties and just walk away from this, be done. So I did something that I never wanted to do because at the time my credit was awesome. I was fine, but I decided to file bankruptcy. So I filed bankruptcy. I did a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which I knew was going to hurt me, but I was looking forward.
That hurt your credit bad.
Oh, absolutely. But I was looking forward to the future. I was looking at the future. All right. I knew in the future something was coming for me and I could feel it. So I said, you know what? I know I can repair my credit. I can redo this. I know my potential. I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to have something, different. So I did. I filed bankruptcy. That alleviated a lot of that real estate debt, off of my shoulder. And what happened is my initial investment was made, but now comes the part of what? The credit. The credit was shot because of bankruptcy. And even when the credit score was still workable, a lot of these finance companies would not do business with me. Why? Because I filed bankruptcy. They did not want to even touch me because of bankruptcy. So I was like, okay. So I contacted my attorney, who's now my friend. And I said, listen, I'm stuck. I'm making this investment. I feel good about it. I know I can turn this into something huge, but I need money to buy the second truck. If I don't have the second truck by this date, I'm going to lose this contract. So I was stressed out. Well, luckily he came through. He got someone to give me the money that I needed to buy the second truck. And that's how I purchased the second truck. And I was in business. After the second truck, I want to say a year of doing everything, I started to grow. I picked up another route, another truck, another route, another truck. And from there, the sky was the limit from that point on.
Now, before I ask you this question, the drivers that you found to drive the load, how did you come across finding them, and how did you vet them? Because some people, like some owner operators today, as a matter of fact, Drill Sergeant, which is he's in the chat, he's one of them. they say that, finding good drivers is hard. So how was you able to find some legitimate drivers for you?
It's true. I even when I talk to one or two of my mentees, I tell them the hardest part of this is not just finding the driver, but also keeping them. Okay, it's extremely challenging. At the time, a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, go to this website called Indeed, right? Indeed.com. You'll
Mm-hmm.
find drivers." At the time, that's when Indeed just started. You put it out on Indeed, you had 50 applicants in by the end of the day, for free. Awesome. Over the years, Indeed became more and more popular. Today, you put an ad on Indeed, because I still use Indeed as of today, because that seems to be my most effective option in finding drivers alongside word of mouth and referrals. Okay. But you put an ad on Indeed today, and it'll be running for a week. You've already spent $500, and you probably have 5 applicants, 10 applicants, and they're not even qualified.
Wow.
They don't even meet the requirements that you posted. It's extremely
Wow.
extremely frustrating. I think I've spent thousands of dollars on Indeed with nothing good. I think I spent $1,000 the other day for team drivers, and all the applicants they did not meet the qualifications, whether it was experience, whether it was a CDLA, whether it was endorsements. I was like, this is such a waste of my time. Why are they even clicking on these ads? But I guess people sometimes need to be educated, so I still call them and I said, hey, I'm so sorry you don't meet the requirements, but you can get this, but you can go here and get that. So I network still, you know what I mean? Actually, have helped a lot of my applicants, figure it out. Even if they didn't meet requirements, I still called and spoke with them and helped them, and they were like, oh my god, thank you so much, now I know what to do. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I just turn it around.
Now, indeed, from the first time you used it, you had 50 people that came in. That was pretty good, and you didn't even have to pay for it. But now you had to pay for it, and you only getting like 5,
Yeah,
6.
it's crazy, I'm telling
That's
you.
crazy.
It's crazy. I just spent
Wow.
$5 last week, and when I went logged in, I think I posted an ad for a diesel mechanic because I'm looking for a diesel mechanic, and they billed me $500. And when I logged in to see my applicants, I only had 3 applicants. I'm like, what the heck just happened? It's getting
Man,
worse. It's not getting better. It's getting worse.
man.
I don't know.
Have any other drivers that you did bring on within the 6 years that you've been in business? Have you had any issues with them? And if so, what did you do?
Well, my longest driver is Lisa. I've posted her on my Instagram a couple of times. She's been with me the longest. She came in my second year. So sorry. Yeah, my second year. So I started November of 2015. She was hired like summer of 2016, a few months later. And she's been with me the longest. When I hired her, she had her own truck, and then she had an issue. That's what caused her to look for work. And along the way, me trying to pair up with the best partner, because at the time I did a lot of team driving, and finding teams, matching teams is very challenging because
I can imagine.
yeah, with different personalities, hygiene, just a lot of stuff. You tend to want to listen to the drivers and try to, pair them up so they're happy, so they stay in the truck and the wheels keep turning. So I guess I did a great job pairing her up with her third partner, that he influenced her to leave and go get their own truck again. So they ended up leaving me, got their own truck. A couple of months later, I heard back from her, and she broke down crying on the phone, and I said, "What happened? What's wrong?" And she said, "I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. You you got how many trucks, and I got only one. I don't know how you do it." And I said, well, the difference is that you have one. So you have nothing to alleviate the financial stress and the pressures. Having more than one, I have something to fall back on. So if at the time I had 4 trucks. So when one truck went down, the other 3 keeps running, money's coming in, and I can take care of that one truck that broke down and pay for it and cover expenses. You know what I mean? And I explained that to her, that you have one truck, your engine just blew. Yeah, it's stressful. Yeah, you're going to cry because you're stuck. If you didn't save up money, you're not going to be able to cover the expense. So she ended up asking me if she can come back. And I said, listen, I'd love to have you back. You know what I mean? And she's been with me ever since. It's been 6 years and she hasn't left. She's been with me ever since.
So when you paired her up with a dude, the dude talked her out of working with you. We probably did some sweet talk like, yeah,
you know how it is.
you could be better than her. All the money. Let's get our authority together, and together all our money could come into our pocket. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it, yeah. And then all of a sudden you get out there and the dude turned on you.
Yeah, I think when I asked her what happened, she said, Rosie, it's the same thing that happened to me the first time I partnered up with my last partner. We made the money, but we're poor money management. They did not manage the money properly. So when something happened to the truck, there was no money to fix the truck. And that's a lot of reasons why people fall out of business.
So SYCS Trucking Company. How did you come up for the name of the company? Is it an acronym or how did you come up with the name?
For my children. It's for my two eldest kids. It's their initials. My two eldest kids, they have Korean names because they're half Korean. Mm-hmm. So Songhee, SY, Cholsu, CS. So it's their initials that I pretty much just put together, and I came up with six trucking.
Okay. That's what's up. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward a couple of years because again, you've been doing it for 6 years. You've been successful at it for 6 years. You grew the business from a $60K investment to a whopping $2.9 million business in 2020. How did that make you feel when you saw the end, when you saw your end,
my
taxes? How did you feel when you saw that?
Well, I have goals. I set goals. You know what I mean? I guess the year prior, when I saw 1 million, and then when I saw 1.2, and then when I saw 1.7, I was like, okay, I'm motivated. Okay, I can do this. You know what? I want to make 3 million. I want to do 3 million. And I think it wasn't even halfway through the year. I was already at 1.7, and I'm counting the days and the months, and I'm like, okay, I'm not that far off. And I'm doing all my calculations, and I'm like, okay, Rosie, if you add this many more trucks and we do this many more pickups because you have extra drivers but not enough trucks, we can probably do this. And I'm brainstorming, talking to myself. I write everything down in a book. I have this notebook that I've had for over 10 years, and I write everything down. So I'm able to actually turn my pages and see ideas that I had back then and see it come alive and come, into reality. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, I already accomplished this. Okay, great. So I write everything down. And when I write something down, it's almost as if, I don't know how to explain it. When I write it down, it becomes a reality for me. I don't know if it's because maybe I'm able to focus on it and, you know what I mean? And have it in front of me and see it and go for it. I can't explain it, but writing it down helps. And I was just able to conjure up the idea of generating $3 million, at the end of 2020. That was my goal. And I missed it by this much. I missed it.
Say by this much.
But when
how does it?
Like, oh my God.
How does it feel? I mean, how does it feel to be a multimillionaire?
It feels awesome. It feels like God answered every prayer, every dream I had. This little girl from St. Lucia, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, wow, the American dream is actually possible. It's tangible. And
now being young back in St. Lucia, as a
Yeah.
young as a young trucker girl. You didn't even phantom even being a multimillionaire. I mean,
Millionaire wasn't even a word back then. I didn't even know what we're talking about. We don't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? We're on an island. We got the beach, the water. What's that? We don't know. We know the word rich. We knew rich. I want to be rich when I grow up. That's all I kept saying. When I grow up, I want to be rich. I want to have a house. I want to have 2 kids. I want to have a dog. I want to have a cat. I want to get married. I want a BMW. And guess what? I had all of that already. I have the house. Now I have 4 kids, but I had the 2 kids for a long time. You know, I had the BMW. You know, I had everything. Everything I said I wanted to have, it happened for me. I worked towards it and it happened. And plus.
Now, you know what? I'm about to turn Kevin Samuels on your ass right quick, man, because you is the high value woman that high value men is looking for. I mean, wow. I mean, are you now? Let me ask you this. I'm about to jump into your into your relationship life right quick. So you have 4 kids. Are you married?
Divorced.
Okay, but the kids is by the same father, right?
So I married very young. I married when I was 19. I married very young. 19, 20, 21, I can't remember. It's so long ago. But I married very young, and I had my first 2 kids with my husband. And then my partner, I have 2 kids with my partner.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Now,
So right now, my partner and I, we're not in a relationship. So you can almost kind of say that I am single. Single and loving it. Single with 4 children. Single and a businesswoman. Single and successful. I don't need to be distracted. I want to stay focused.
Now let me ask you this. Now being a young single, attractive entrepreneur, businesswoman like yourself, what type of man are you looking for? Or if you was to, let me rephrase that. If you was to be looking for a man, then what's the man that you will be looking for? What man would work for you?
That's all. I can't even answer the question because, can I say something first?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
First of all, I want to say, now I understand what people feel when they've reached a different level in their lives of financial independence. And I just want to say that I am so sorry that you guys have had to go through that. I get it now. We don't get it, and you will never get it until you get there. And now I can honestly say I get it. I get it. I see it. I'm experiencing it. It's hard. It's not easy. Once you've reached a different level in your life financially, it's hard to trust somebody. It's hard to trust someone. You don't know if you're meeting someone for true love, or for what you're capable of doing for them, or for what you can give them. It's very hard. And when you have children, it makes it even more challenging for you picking the right person. Does that make sense? So I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know what I would love. You know, I want someone who has the same drive as me, because I had someone that didn't have my drive. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I had someone who had my drive. The problem was, you have 2 alphas. I'm an alpha female, and he was an alpha male. And for me, I don't see it being a problem, but I'm just telling you my experience. Him being an alpha male, he seemed to have had an issue with my alphaness, because at the end of the day, I want to be equal to you. I don't want it to be, well, I'm the man and you need to listen to your man and you need to do what I tell you to do, or you know what? Why don't you let a man be in control? No, we're equal. You know, I'm working my ass off just as hard as you are. I'm making us money. You know, I'm doing my, I'm doing my thing. Give me my props, but don't give me my props, but still want to control me. You see what I'm saying? We got to be on the same level.
Now, there's only 10% of 10% of dudes out here that's like close to your level. So would you give a blue collar brother a chance?
Of course. If of course I would. I would give a blue collar guy a chance if you're as hardworking as me.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's
Yeah,
up, man.
be hard work. You gotta listen, man. You gotta be hardworking. You get what I'm saying? You gotta be hardworking. I think I posted something today on Instagram saying, you know, and excuse my language, you know, when people who are doing drugs need to get high, they always find money to go buy it. Okay? And they never give up. They're always gonna find a way. Right? Why
Mm-hmm.
would you give up so easily? You know, you have them. Their game is stronger than yours. You know what I'm saying? You have to be strong. You have to always want to keep working. You have to find a way. You can't give up. You got to find a way. So I want somebody who's going to be able to work hard and figure things out and make a way. You see what I'm saying? I want that. I want
That's
that.
what's up.
Got to be on my level. Have to.
Well, how many, Rosie, wow. How many hours do you work? How do you do it? I'm like what your driver asked you. Like, how do you do it? How many hours a day that you actually work?
You know, it's funny you ask that question. I'm talking to you right now with a headache. Okay, I have a headache, but I'm a good team player. You know, you called me today and you said, "Hey, can we do it now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." I haven't slept. I've been up for 24 hours because my team left to go over the road and they were having issues fueling up and they couldn't fuel up and I was on the phone with FedEx for hours trying to figure out what's up with our T-Tech card. So I haven't slept. You see me, I'm in my T-shirt still running around. Had a long day, full day.
Let me stop you right there, right quick. Let me stop you right there, and I want to point that out a little bit. What makes this boss different from everybody else that's on Instagram? That's these quote unquote trucking gurus. Yeah, I'm throwing it out there. She's not on. She's number one. You don't see a boss of her caliber bragging like, yo, this is what I got, this is what I'm doing, yo, call me up for consultations and yada yada yada. Here's a person that's in a t-shirt and sleeper clothes on. This is the type of person right here that people need to talk to. They, you know, these the people right here that's in the background, that's running a business, running a multi-million-dollar company and all like that. These is the ones that you guys need to talk to.
Yeah.
Instead of the hyper ones that's coming on Instagram saying, yeah, give me this and I could teach you how to do this and I could teach you how to do that. I'm just saying, my fault. I'm back.
Can I
my
add
bad.
real quick? Let me add to that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, a lot of people DM me saying, "Hey, how did you do it? I want to learn. Can you mentor me? Can you tell me what to do?" And I give a lot of information, no problem. But unfortunately, over the years, I've had to learn that unfortunately, I have to value my time. So
Exactly.
and my mom always yell at me, "Rosie, stop giving free information. You keep helping people, you'll never get rich." And I always told my mom, it's fine. That's just who I am, mommy. I don't care. I want to help them. Well, I'm in a position where I am, you know, I'm successful now. I still want to help, but I have to value my time. Even when you were talking to me to set us up, how many times did my phone go off? It just keeps going all day, every day. So if I'm going to take 30 minutes out, you know, I value me and my time. I want somebody to value that information. And the only way they're going to value that information, I believe, is if they're investing in it, if they're paying
If
for it.
they pay for it.
Because now they've paid for that information I gave them. Now they're going to do something with
Exactly.
it. It's not going to just be asking me all these questions and doing nothing with it. So yeah, so now all these people that have been DMing me, I finally put a book now on my Instagram where they can book me for 30 minutes, for an hour, and we can talk. If you want to just vent to me about your day working, it doesn't matter. Vent to me. I always think of ideas of how I can make that day better for you, or how you can get out of that slump that you're in, to propel yourself further. But yeah, I did that. A lot of the people that reached out to me, obviously some of them weren't serious when they saw, hey, give me $150 for 30 minutes of my time. And some people actually spend that money, spoke to me for 30 minutes. In fact, I have two mentees. I was able to get two mentees. One of them I've helped a lot, and hopefully she'll put up her experience with me. But she wants to do a trucking company. I put her on the right track. She's about to pick up her first box truck. She's going to be picking it up on Thursday. I linked her with someone selling a box truck in New York. She's going to be picking that up on Thursday so she can start her trucking business. And once she gets that up and going, I'm going to take her to the next step of finalizing some sort of an agreement with Amazon so she can start pulling. This young lady was about to invest $8,000 into a real estate program. She wanted to do real estate and trucking. And I said to her, what is the reason for the real estate program? What are you trying to accomplish with that? She said, well, I just want to buy a house. I just want to know how to buy a house. I said, oh, so you're not trying to flip and do all of this stuff? So why would you invest that? I did real estate with no course, no experience. I can show you how to buy a house with no money. That's not a problem. And thankfully, she listened to me and she canceled the course. She got her money back. So I saved her $8,000. And I said to her, stay focused. If you want to do trucking, you already have an MC number, DOT number, stay focused. Sometimes we try to do too much all at once. You understand? And I was able to get her to stay focused, and she's going in the right direction. So again, like you said, I'm simple, no makeup, nothing. Simple, easygoing. I just do what I have to do, and I'm genuine, as much as I can be genuine. I'm 100% genuine. With anybody that I talk to, and I'll tell it like it is, and hopefully people can appreciate that. So I just wanted to add that.
Welcome everybody to the Lockoutmen podcast show. I appreciate you guys being up in here. My special guest tonight is Trucker Girl ATL. She is the owner of SYCS Trucking Company. We will get to some of you guys' questions in a minute, but how has Trucker Girl, how has being an entrepreneur, a trucking entrepreneur, affected your family life?
Oh my goodness, my kids tell me, "Mommy, you're always busy. Mommy, you're always busy. Mommy, you don't make any time for us." So I've had to make some adjustments. But my kids, I think it affects my kids more than anything, because they're used to me being with them 24/7. I find myself having to be going to Atlanta, coming back to New York. I go to Atlanta once a month for about a week or two to check on my trucks, to go to my safety meetings, to meet my drivers, to do safety meetings with the drivers. And then I come back home, back to mommy duties. And of course, running everything from me. I run my entire business from New York with my cell phone and my computer. So I'm on the phone a lot. And they're trying to get my attention, and sometimes they can't get my attention. So I want to say it affects my kids a whole lot more in terms of giving them that time. But I keep telling them that mommy's working really hard so we can get into a position where I can spend more time with you guys. And it's we're almost there. I invested 6 years of my time. I want to invest another year, and then I can give my kids a lot more of my time. On a relationship level, it didn't affect it at all, because like I said, at the time, we were both the same. We're both, hardworking, go-getters, ambitious, same everything, same passion, everything. So that didn't affect my love life. Friendships got affected a little bit. A lot of my friends, we all have different priorities. You know what I mean? I was more on the road of success and building an empire, whereas everybody else are more of, mingling, socializing, partying, hanging out. I have bigger fish to fry. I can do that.
You know what? You know what? Of course, you're gonna lose some friends along the way.
Of course.
Once you at the status where you at right now,
yeah,
a lot of your friends that was down there, they turn to envy, they turn to hate, they turn to, oh well, she this, she bougie, she all like that now. Yeah, bye. When I was down here, when I was broke, everybody was happy. But now that I got some money, now I'm a problem.
Yeah, not friends. I wouldn't say all. I think my real friends, my real friends are extremely supportive of me. And as a matter of fact, a lot of them give me compliments. A lot of them say, Rosie, what I love about you is that even if you're like a millionaire, even if like, you have everything and you're doing all of this, you're so humble. You're still Rosie. Like, you haven't changed. Because a lot of times, like, even my drivers will pep me up. Like, one of my drivers, she's so proud of me. She'll always talk and hype me up. Oh, my boss. Oh, yeah, my boss did this. Oh, my boss. And I'll be like, Lisa, stop saying that. And she said to me, she said, Rosie, one thing I love about you, as much as you earned that, you don't even want people to know. And that's what I respect about you. And that's what I love about you. Like, you're so humble. Like, everybody says that about me. Like, I don't want it out there. Even if that's the truth, I still don't want it out there. You know what I mean?
All right, Darren, ride through life. What's going on, my G? I appreciate you stepping up in here. Drill Sergeant, I see your post, man. Darren wants to know, how do you buy a FedEx route? He said he's been looking.
Okay. If you go online and you Google FedEx routes for sale, you're going to get a lot of different websites coming up. I think it's called AKR or AR Capital. They're a broker that also does FedEx routes. But understand something. The moment you start dealing with a broker, you're paying premium top dollar. So, for example, I did a $60,000 investment, right? When I started with 2 routes in a truck. Well, the same 2 routes in a truck, I posted it on Instagram for sale, and I was able to sell it for $400 and something thousand. Okay. So understand, you're going to be paying premium. Your best bet, word of mouth. Like, for example, a lot of FedEx contractors, some of them that aren't successful or having a hard time, they want out. They want to just get out of it. And that's how I picked up a lot of my routes at the time. I got one for $2,000 a couple of years ago. I got one for $8,000 a few years after that. You know, so you can get them for cheap. I don't know now if you can. I'm talking about maybe 3-4 years ago when I picked up mine. I think people got smart and they figured it out. But hey, go to Craigslist. You know, Craigslist, sometimes people will list, you know, the routes for sale there. And like I said, just word of mouth, you know, ask drivers, hey, is your contractor looking to sell? You'd be surprised. You never know what could come up.
All
but
right.
that, you know, a few
So is FedEx freight is just all you run, or do you run other freight as well?
No, I only do FedEx. FedEx Ground is what I focus on. I focus on running for FedEx Ground. That's who my contract is. I do have my own authority, which I got 6 years ago, thinking of branching out and doing something else. But I made a decision to stay focused, okay, and grow in one direction, learn the business. I call working with FedEx, I call it trucking for dummies. Okay, being a FedEx contractor is trucking for dummies, because they do a lot of the legwork for you, you know, insurance wise and just everything else wise. It's very, we're almost, I want to say, spoon fed on a lot of things that makes life easy for us. And I think that's why I was able to grasp and learn so much so quickly.
All right. Rosie, what was your, like, you know, you've been in the game for 6 years. You've been you did real estate before you got into it. What was some of your greatest fears, and how was you able to manage it?
I guess my biggest fear was, you know, you always heard people having accidents, you know, those horrific accidents. And I think my biggest fear of having an accident. Every time drivers went out, I would always be so scared. Every time the phone rang, I'd be like, you okay? Everything good? You guys are good? Because I'm thinking they're calling me to tell me they had an accident. That, for me, believe it or not, was my biggest fear when I got into this business, is getting a call that I had an accident. And sure enough, it took a couple of years, but I had my first major accident, I want to say back in maybe 2 years ago. My driver was inching, you know, he got to the stop sign, nothing was coming. Then he proceeded forward, and this pickup truck came out of nowhere, slammed right into him, and it totaled my truck. This is a huge sleeper, got totaled by a little pickup truck. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in the truck, but I think the driver had to be taken, you know, to the hospital and stuff like that. I was devastated. I cried all night, all day, scared, because I believed that accident would have hurt me and my contract. That would have hurt.
That would have hurt the business.
Yeah, that done. Oh my God, I'm done. So my biggest fear became a reality, but I was too hard on myself because it didn't affect me the way that I thought it would affected me.
So after that major accident, I'm gonna assume that the driver of the pickup truck got a lawyer, and they pretty
Probably.
much.
Yeah, well, they see FedEx, and you know how it is. So yeah, I'm sure that's what happened. You know, they repaired all the damages and stuff like that. I got another truck, and a couple of years later, I had another accident. Well, not years, but I want to say maybe 6 months later, I had my second accident. Like, when it rains, it pours. My second accident, driver switching lanes, the beep, everything went off. You see him looking, because we have event recorders in the truck. You see him checking his mirrors, checking his side mirror, looking. He thinks it's clear, and he starts to change lanes. Well, I guess, people try to speed and race with the trucks.
Exactly.
So he probably figured, oh, you're not cutting me off, sped up, and guess what? Got caught at the very rear back tire of the second trailer, because we do pups doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Second trailer by the tire, got him up against the guardrail and dragged him the whole way.
Now, and I'm glad that you're on here with me tonight. I really do appreciate your time. Thank you very much. But not only you talking about your successes, but you're also talking about your issues as well. Yep. You see what I'm saying? So, with these two accidents, how did that hurt? Did that hurt you? Did you have to go to court? What did the accidents do to your company?
The way it works, pulling for FedEx and operating under their DOT and everything, FedEx pretty much does everything for us. Legal wise, they'll get the lawyer, they'll send him out, they'll represent us, they'll do everything. So I didn't have to do anything. Okay. In terms of how it hurt me with FedEx, has a system in place where they look at your accidents, your safety scores, as they put it, and they rate you based on the size of your fleet. And that was my second accident within a 12-month period. So it did kind of put me in the red, in the yellow. And when they had my safety meeting, they were like, okay, this is your second accident. You're in the yellow. At that point, they want you to give them a plan, a safety plan of how you're going to improve safety, whether it's more driver training, whether it's investing in more safety equipment in the truck, whether it's, whatever it is, they want to see your plan. They make it very simple. Show them the plan. And I put that plan in place. I made changes. I put the plan in place, and my safety score improved. So with the improving of my safety score, it took me out of the yellow back into the green, and they were very pleased with that. But that's what they do. So, and I just want to say this, FedEx is great. I love working with FedEx. I love pulling for them. It was an awesome opportunity for me, but I want everybody to understand, and I tell this to drivers when I hire them, FedEx is great, but they can be extremely disorganized. A lot of drivers agree because they've experienced it. They're very disorganized, and they're not consistent. And I'm talking about coming on their yard, finding trailers, just the whole 9 yards. The same way FedEx says, oh, this is your business. You make the decision. You do everything. It's your business. The truth is, they put their hand in a lot. They control us a lot. We don't get says. It's very frustrating, and I've cried a lot. I can tell you that I've cried a lot, and 6 years later, I can honestly say I don't let it bother me anymore. They call me, they tell me something. Okay, all right, no problem. Before it used to be, oh my god, FedEx, mommy, I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I've graduated. You know what I mean? I've graduated. I've learned how to handle it without stressing myself over every little thing.
Darren comes back with another question. He says, do they sell with trucks, or do you have to buy your own truck?
It depends on what deal you get. If you find a broker, or if you find an owner selling the routes, it just depends. Brokers, usually they will pair it together with trucks because they want to maximize the value of the route. So they'll probably pair it with a truck. to make it more appetizing for a buyer. A contractor, if you get it from a contractor, 9 out of 10 times they're just selling you the route. They don't want to sell their truck because sometimes the trucks have a note on it that they're still paying. So they'll not want to sell you the truck. Sometimes they'll say, well, I have a note on this truck. You can take over the note. You can take over the payments, and it just becomes messy and complicated. But my advice, if you're going to buy a route, just buy the route, get your own truck. You're better off.
That's what's up. Now, Rosie, do you believe that there's some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a trucking entrepreneur such as yourself?
I want to say yes, there's a formula. I can sit down and write the formula up, but when I did it, I didn't have a formula. I just went with my gut, and my ambition, it drove me to staying on track and focused and not giving up. Because trust me, I could have given up months ago, years ago. You just have to stay on track. But yes, there's a formula. I can write up a formula of how to start your own trucking company, from incorporating the business to getting the DOT number to getting your DOL number. I can sit there and lay it all out piece by piece and make a manual and be like, hey, for sale, start to finish. How to make $2.9 million after 6 years.
Now I know you said I know you said, of course, you said that your time is valuable, and of course time is money. But when you was coming in, 6 years ago, you had a lot of help yourself, right?
No help. I had to figure it out on my own, and thanks to Google and YouTube. I YouTube a lot of the stuff that I needed to know. I YouTube a lot of it. I Googled a lot of it. I did a lot of research, late nights, reading up on trucks, reading up on a lot of things. My partner at the time, he was a great support system. If I wasn't sure about something, because he's a mechanic, I'd be like, hey, what's this on the truck? What's that on the truck? He'd come down there with me occasionally. And he'll say, okay, you know what? Let's change the shocks in this truck. Let's change the shocks in that truck. Go around looking for a shop. A lot of what I had to do was I was self-taught. My drivers, they played a role because I needed drivers that knew what they were doing because I did not know what we were doing. And along the way, I would call them. I would ask them questions. Hey, what's this? Hey, what's that? Why do you have to do that? Hey, do you know the hours of service? What is it? They'd tell me. I'd go online, look it up, read. That's how I learned a lot of this trucking stuff, from just researching online, asking questions from my drivers, other contractors I met. Hey, how do you do this? Hey, where do you get that? But to say I had help, no, not a lot of help.
Now, as far as your drivers go, you started with 2 routes.
Yeah.
2 trucks, and now you're up to like 19 trucks and 21 employees.
Yeah.
And you're still looking, right?
For what? For trucks or employees?
No, well, let me rephrase it then. Are you still looking? Because I got your website. Let me see if I can bring it up. Hold on. Can I bring up your website?
You should be able to. I guess what I'm looking to do now that I've hit 19 trucks and I've hit where I have, and I was saying this to a couple who called me asking me some questions about FedEx and what should they do between signing on with a company or doing their own authority. I guess what I ended up telling them was what I want to do now is I want to put together an administrative team that will pretty much take over running my daily operations. And by doing that, I want to venture out into something else, whether I sign on with Landstar or I decide, you know what, I am going to go ahead and do my own authority and go on the load board. I think that's what I'm looking to do, but not now. Maybe then.
Right. So SYCS Trucking Company, local people, great service, located out of Atlanta, Georgia, or ATL, right?
Yep.
Atlanta, Georgia. Um, so OT, if you are looking for people, it will just be strictly for OTR team drivers, right? You
I,
don't have no solo drivers.
yep, I do both. I have team drivers that go over the road. I have dedicated runs for over the road, Atlanta to California and back. And then I have a lot of local runs, daytime shift, nighttime shift, weekends only, part-time, full-time, local. And when I say local, from 30 miles down the road and back to the terminal to 600 miles down the road and back to the terminal. So I have solo, and I have, I guess you can call it city, where they do 20, 30 miles and back, and then they go maybe 600 miles down the road and back, or 250 miles down the road and back. So we have a combination of those runs.
Now, right here for what you're looking for, experienced drivers, you're starting them off at 54 cent a mile split. So that's 54 cent a mile to the truck, right?
Right, and that actually has gone up. I haven't updated those salaries yet, and I will do that in the next few weeks. But now our teams are doing 70 cents a mile split. So
Okay,
it's
awesome.
truck. That's what we're doing right now. 70 cents a mile to the truck. Our local drivers are doing great. Our local guys that go home every day, they're making anywhere between $1,100 to $1,800 a week, and that's just local drivers. And again, our solo drivers, that's drivers in the trucks by themselves going 200 to 600 miles down the road, they're making 55 cents per mile. And again, we offer benefits. We have dental, medical, vision. We even have a retirement 401k plan, and I think we match it up to 3%. Yeah, 3% we match.
All right. So you're double. So a double. So you're W2.
W2 employees per my contract. I'm not allowed to have 1099s. All W2s.
Okay. Perks. You have meal allowance. What is that?
I give my drivers a meal allowance for over the road. They get a meal allowance where they're able to get meals. I think what is it, $25 they get each, and they're able to put that towards meals. Thanksgiving, I'll buy them, Thanksgiving, dinners, holidays if they're working, I buy them lunch on me. We try to make it fun. We're a family over here. You know what I mean? I treat everything the way I want to be treated, kind of thing.
1,000 miles guaranteed, $500 base pay guaranteed weekly, medical, vacation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vacation.
What are the what are you looking for as far as the drivers coming in? What do they, what they experience have to be? Do they have to have a clean background?
Yeah.
Do you do a hair follicle test? Do you do urine? What all the drivers have to do in order to come in to work for SYCS?
Since we pull for FedEx, they're extremely strict. They use a third party. The driver, if they're interested, they would apply online. They don't need to come in. Everything is online. Once the application is done, they would be set up for a drug test, urine drug test. Then they do a road test. The background check is very thorough. They do a criminal background check. They do employment verification. They check everything. You need 1 year of experience for FedEx. They only 1 year. Student drivers are welcome to apply, but they must attend one of the approved schools like Georgia Driving Academy, Route Master, just to name a few. If you go to one of those schools, you can apply to FedEx and become a student driver. And the process takes anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks. Clean background. Accidents, you really don't want to have a whole bunch of accidents in the last 3 years. If anything, tickets, you really want to have no tickets, but if you do, it has to be under the speed limit, because anything, I think, 10 miles over the speed limit, they would disqualify you on the spot. So they're very strict, and you must have your endorsement for doubles and triples, because 90% of the time we're pulling doubles.
All right, all right. So, Rosie, if you can go back and go back within your 6 years of rocking out with your business and everything, what would be the three things that you would change about it? Or
Wow.
trucking it that it could be trucking in general too. So
Okay. The three things I would change, I guess initially, I should have just invested in brand new trucks. I should have invested in brand new trucks. I was hesitant about it. I didn't see the need for it. I guess too, when you're just starting, you thinking financially you can't do it. But I think when I purchased my second round of trucks, I should have just gone for brand new, because having the expense up front is better, because that payment is, let's just say, $3,000 a month. It's $3,000 a month, but the truck is new and it's going to run with no issues, no problems. Whereas buying the used trucks, yeah, it was cheaper, and it's hit or miss. Okay, I don't want to be a hypocrite, because the used trucks made me the same amount of money my new truck made me. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. I love my used trucks. But what I'm learning today, like right now, today, because I just bought 8 more trucks and they were used, and I'm saying to myself, Rosie, now should have been the time for you to buy the brand new trucks. And that's actually what I'm working on right now. So if I had to change anything, I would have invested in brand new trucks in my second year of doing business and kept doing new from that point forward. Because a lot of the expenses I'm having, it's keeping me grounded. I don't know if you know what I mean. The wheels aren't turning. I'm sitting for too long, waiting for this shop to take the truck and fix it, that shop to take the truck and fix it. I'm wasting time, and time is money. So that's one thing I would have changed, just investing in new equipment. And I guess the second thing is having a business manager sooner than later. I took on a lot of the responsibilities all myself. I'm a one-woman show. I do everything, payroll, administrative, everything by myself. And that's because I don't trust anyone. I micromanage everything because I don't believe anyone is going to do it the way I'm going to do it. And with this business, there's a lot of liability. So I guess you can say, I want to make sure that everything's going the way it's supposed to go, because I don't want to lose my route. I don't want to find myself in a bad situation. But having help, having someone to help you manage things is a must. You cannot do it by yourself. And I have been doing it by myself. Okay. And
trucker girl,
the third thing,
superwoman.
and And the third thing, I can't think of the third thing. I mean, I'm sure I can, but I know we're limited with time. And then the third thing, let me think. I think that's the two main things: just getting help and the equipment. Oh, and the drivers. I think the ideas I have now for my drivers, I should have had it in the beginning, because I think if I had it in the beginning, I would have been able to have better quality drivers. Hiring student drivers, hiring drivers with less than 3 years of experience, I think is a big deal. And when I first started, I wasn't thinking about experience. I wasn't thinking about anything. All I was thinking of is, I have to have a driver in the truck. FedEx is going to take my route. I have to have a driver in the truck. If I don't, FedEx is going to ding me. Well, guess what? It cost me a lot. I had 2 accidents. I had a lot of things happen. Trucks being damaged, trucks being, you know what I'm saying, mistreated and mishandled. I think it's really important to be very selective with your driver, with your workforce. There's a saying, quantity over quality, right? It doesn't make sense if I have 21 drivers, if only 5 of them are going to do the right thing and take care of the equipment and, not have accidents,
How
So
do you how do you go by invest now that the drivers are working for you?
mhm.
How do you invest in the driver to make that driver happy?
The way that I invested in my drivers, I took a large chunk of my profits, and I got benefits for them. That was a huge investment, because a lot of FedEx contractor drivers all say, oh, they don't have benefits. They don't have benefits. That's big. Contractors will pay high, but there's no benefits. I know drivers that's been with contractors for 6 years working for them, and they have no retirement plan, no pension, no nothing. And that for me was a big thing. I wanted to attract a certain kind of driver. So I figured, okay, you know what? Let me make this investment. Let me get insurance. Let me get a 401k retirement plan, IRA retirement plan. Let me offer, vacation pay. It's not much, but at least something's better than nothing. And that's how I've invested in the drivers. A lot of the drivers that work for me now, they have been with me for a year. This one driver, he's been with me for a year. He did not know that I offered benefits. When he found out, he called me and was like, Rosie, oh my God, you give benefits? Are you kidding me? Really? Wow. Like, he was just amazed. He's like, can I sign up for the dental? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And it's cheap too. It doesn't cost much and it's a great plan. So a lot of them actually value and appreciate the benefits and sign up for it. And some of them say they want it, get the job, and never sign up for it. I have 21 employees and I only have 3 of them on the medical plan. Can you believe that? Only 3 sign up for medical.
Now, Rosie, before we get on up out of here, now let me ask you this, because I'm about to play devil's advocate for a little bit.
Oh boy.
Are you just the face of your company, or are you your company? Because there's the way how some these trucking gurus do it. They're just the face of the company, and somebody else is running the company. They just put it in the ear and say, "Yo, I just want you to be the face of the company." But are you the face of your company?
Look, up close. I am my company. I am my company. I do it all. I run it. I don't sleep. I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay? I am my company. The only thing I don't do is drive the damn truck. Okay? All right? That's the only thing I don't do, but I do everything else.
There you go. That's what's up. Rosie, Trucker Girl, ATL. If you guys are interested in getting in contact with whoops, wrong one. Wait a minute. Let me take that back. I got the wrong thing up. Hold on. There we go. Now, if you guys are interested in SYCS Trucking Company, she did said it on the Lockoutmen podcast show that team drivers is up to 70 cents a mile now, and the other drivers are at 55 cents a mile.
Yep, solo 55 cents a mile, and local drivers 1,100 to about 1,800 a week gross.
All right. And if you guys is interested in getting in contact with her phone number is 404-449-9190. When the people call to talk about what you have to offer, would they be getting in contact with you, or with somebody in your HR department?
No, it's gonna be me. I take all driver calls. I like talking to drivers, one-on-one, filling them out, hearing their voice, filling them over the phone. You know what I mean? I like that one-on-one experience.
All right, and you guys can find out more on SYCS Trucking Company. Is SYCSTruckingCompany.com. Rosie, thank you very much for taking the time to come on and chop it up with me on the Lockoutmen podcast.
A lot of questions people had, about it. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. I got one last question. Like, all right, how do you market your other than the website? How do you market your business? Well, wait, no, you pretty much answer that. Scratch that. Yeah, you pretty Indeed, all that other stuff. Indeed, my bad.
Facebook, yep.
Yeah, my bad. You answer that. So we don't need to go back all over again. But what tips for anybody that's interested in getting into trucking and all like that, and want to become a multimillionaire, what tips would you like to give to some of the people out here before you leave? What would you want the people to leave with today?
Guys, you can do it. Just stay focused. That this is something that was told to me and I listened. Stay focused. You can't do 20 million things all at once and expect to have success in one area. You got to pick one. Pick it, stay on track, ask questions, get opinions. There's no wrong opinion. Get opinions, do your research, and don't be afraid to fail. Even if you do fail, it's okay. Just figure out what went wrong, where did it go wrong, correct it, and get right back on again and push forward. You can do it. Just stay focused. You can do it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And that's going to do it for the Lockoutmen podcast show for this evening. DSS Trucking. I see you in the comment section, bro. Yeah, we definitely going to have to get back on once again. Probably, I don't think it's going to be Sunday, because Sunday I drive now, but we'll probably get on probably next Saturday or something like that. But I'll give you a call soon, bro. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to Rosie and SYCS Trucking Company of ATL. If you guys are interested, definitely look them up and see if that's a company that's fit for you. Minority owned, and family owned. So hey, there you go.
I can use some help, guys. Call me.
All right. Again, everybody, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys like content like this and more, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell and that all button. If you like it, like the video. Until next time, everybody, Rosie, stay on. Until next time, everybody, y'all take it easy, and I'll talk to you with another one. Peace.
This show, yeah, get it in. Yeah.